Hello and welcome back to another edition of the MCR. My name is Mac, and with me today is TJ. And today we're going to talk about an interview that was conducted between Chris Cuomo, aka Fredo. And if you don't know the Fredo reference, you'll need to look up Fredo in the Godfather series and find out he was the less than sharp brother of Michael Corleone. So he was interviewing Liz Harrington, who's the new RNC spokesperson. And he starts out with, as they always do, with these comments that people don't make, but they just want to put this comment on that person. He says he was trying to suggest that President Trump wants riots in the streets. And the article says, which is totally not true, which is totally right. It's not true. But I got to thinking about this article. If they can do these kind of things to Trump, can they do them to you? And let's go through the litany. It's become a litany now of things they've tried to do to stop this man. And I think what they're trying to stop him from doing, Republicans and Democrats, is exposing their corruption. He didn't drain the swamp, but he lowered it enough for us to see who's in it. At least we think.
Oh yeah.
But let's start with the first Russian hoax, where the FBI deliberately obtained a FISA warrant for things they knew were not true. So they perjured themselves in front of a court. I never heard of anyone getting charged with that. Have you?
Nope.
Okay. If you and I did it, we would be charged. But for 7 years, Liz Harrington says these corrupt DAs, the DOJ, the FBI, you name it, for 7 years haven't been investigating crimes. They've been investigating a person. And I guess where I'm going with this is that if they can do it to Donald Trump, how much easier would it be to do it to Mac and TJ?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, he's so easy. Let's say the county in which I live in, which I won't name, but let me say Oakland County, Michigan. If the prosecutor there doesn't like this channel and he wants us to shut up, all he's got to do is sick the sheriff's department or the state police on us and have us comb through our lives to find out anything. Well, that's not how our criminal justice system works. It works like this. You report a crime, we come out and investigate it. If we find evidence, we suggest to the prosecutor that he pursue it, or she. And then they look at it and they decide, is there enough evidence, and they present it to a grand jury and an indictment goes down or not. But as you said in a previous video, that even a ham sandwich can get indicted. It's so easy to indict someone.
In a grand jury.
Although they're not having such an easy time, it seems, indicting President Trump. But so you got the Russian hoax. Then it was the first impeachment on the Russian hoax. Adam Schiff had all kinds of evidence, stunning evidence. Never heard
the
a word. The
walls are closing in.
Yeah, the walls are closing in, blah, blah, blah. Then there was the second impeachment that Nancy Pelosi wanted to do because she don't want to prosecute anybody. They want to persecute people. And that's what they're doing, persecutions, not prosecutions. So she ran that Ukraine call out as if that was some damning evidence against the president doing a quid pro quo, although if you've listened to the call, there was no quid pro quo. Although if we were to do the same to her, I think we might find a quid pro quo. And if you don't know what that means, it's this for that in Latin. We might find one or two of those in her career. What say you?
Well, you slightly off topic, but I always go back to when Clarence Thomas was nominated to the Supreme Court. And when I saw what they did to him, what the Democrat senators did to him, that I always reference that. In fact, I was just telling a guy, we were talking the other day about what woke us up politically. And I was just sharing with him that what really woke me up politically was the way they went after Clarence Thomas, meaning if they could do that to someone going to the Supreme Court, they can certainly do it to little old TJ.
Yeah.
You know?
And before Clarence Thomas, in fact, it was said of Clarence Thomas that they were going to bork him.
Oh, yeah.
And so they did it to Judge Robert Bork, who was probably the most qualified candidate for the Supreme Court, certainly in my lifetime.
And he went up there and he was honest, from the way I understand
And
it.
he was honest, and they had an out for him, and they had the votes, so they did what they did. But folks, let me tell you that they can do this to you. They can do it to you. And if they do it to President Trump, people like Dana Nessel here in Michigan, she's going to see that as a green light to go after anybody she doesn't like.
Oh,
And
yeah,
they
big
will.
time.
And then it becomes a tit for tat. If we should somehow regain control, are we going to do it to them then? Because if I were Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, I might be a little nervous at this activity going on.
That's why they call it crossing the Rubicon, point of no return. You know?
Yes, exactly. Well, that's all I really got on this. We can wrap it up. We'll keep it short. Just bear in mind that what happens here with President Trump might happen to you someday. And if you don't think it can, I think you're rudely mistaken. We're already moving. We're going to have red flag laws in Michigan, which is another case of looking for an investigation in search of a crime rather than investigating a crime that's been reported. Because all you have to do is be accused by someone who doesn't like you. And they're really going to have a foothold with that one, because it will expand. I do believe. Yep. So at that, we'll wrap it up, and we will catch you in the next one. Until then, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.